Today we're going to go over some very basic yoga movements and positions that are going to help target your spine and keep your spine young and healthy. Hey, I'm Dr. Kevin Leach. I'm here with Andrea McLaughlin. She's a yoga instructor and movement coach. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome. So today we're going to go over, I wanted to create this video for my patients so that they could do some yoga moves that would actually help them with their spine, so spine targeted. And that anybody could actually do to help focus on their spine and take care of their spine and keep it young and healthy outside of actually seeing a chiropractor. So I asked Andrea to help me out today with this video because I want to have a video and I want some instructional yoga positions and yoga moves for my patients that they can actually use on their own. And since Andrea's a yoga certified movement coach, she's going to help me out. She's going to guide me through the positions that you're going to be able to do. And again, these are targeted toward the spine. So these are things that we can do for our spine, again, outside of seeing a chiropractor, just to keep our spine nice and flexible, keep it young, keep it healthy, keep the joints nice and strong, nice and aligned, and nice and flexible. Now, if you're not directly under my care, make sure that you clear your ability to do this with your licensed healthcare practitioner. Make sure that at least I know that you're doing this and that you're clear to do this, or that your primary care doctor or some other specialist understands that you're doing this to keep you nice and safe. This segment is geared toward maybe an elderly patient or maybe a patient that's maybe just had surgery on a joint, or it's very difficult for them even to get on the ground and get up from the ground. So this is going to be very, very gentle, but still targeted toward the spine, but it's not advanced at all. It's just it's for beginners. So if this is for you, keep watching.
So, hi everyone. Today I'm super lucky to be here with Dr. Kevin Leach. We're going to go over some exercises for the spine today. We're going to start out with some mobility drills to get the body all warmed up. And then we're going to move into a strengthening exercise to strengthen the spinal muscles, and then finally end with a resting pose so that the nervous system can integrate everything that we just learned. Welcome. As we talked about, we're going to do some movements, some spinal movements here with Dr. Kevin. We're going to need some supplies. So you'll need a chair and something like this. So maybe like a cushion or a pillow or a rolled up blanket or towel. And you don't need a yoga mat. This is simply here for the chair to be able to stay in one place. And then the last thing you'll need is something about the size of a tissue box. It could be a tissue box, it could even be one of the wider tissue boxes, or maybe another rolled up towel. So we're going to start out with some spinal extension and flexion, which means that Kevin is going to sit sort of a little bit away from the back of the chair, so he has some space to move. And he's going to start out by arching his spine and rounding his spine. So he's rounding his spine right now, spinal flexion, and then good, opening up, finding his chest lifting towards the sky, and arching his spine, and then rounding. And he'll do this about 3 to 5 times, depending on how he feels. If he's done after 3 times, he can feel complete and be done, and if not, he can keep going to 5. And then the next pose would be a side bend. So Kevin's going to take his left arm down and place it somewhere along the chair, raise his right arm up, and then side bend over to the left. So now he has this nice curve along his side body, and he's stretching the side. And then he'll switch sides. The key is how many times can you say side in one exercise. So here he is side bending, and he's going to do this again between 3 and 5 times, just depending on how he feels. And he can bring some movement into it by continuing to side bend and continue switching, or he can hold the pose and find a really nice long stretch. So choices there. The next pose is a spinal twist. So again, he's going to stay seated in the chair. He's going to turn his upper body towards the left, place one hand on the chair anywhere where it's comfortable. It doesn't have to be high, it could be in the middle or low, and then the other hand will go on his thigh or his knee. And then he'll start to turn again to the other side. And again, he can use this exercise as sort of a movement exercise and continuing going from side to side, or he can pause in the stretch and really feel that stretch in his body. And so, yeah, nice. So he's continuing on with the stretching. And then once he's done with that, There's other versions of these exercises as well. So if seated is not for you, you can come to standing and come to standing behind the chair. So Kevin's gonna come here, and he's pretty tall, so he's gonna wanna put his hands on the back of the chair, whereas if I were, I didn't have as much height, I might wanna place my hands on the actual seat of the chair, totally up to the person. So Kevin's choosing the back of the chair, and he's gonna flow through a cat-cow here on the back of the chair. So just rounding the spine and then extending the spine, feeling that chest lift and reach forward, and then rounding. And he can even, let's bring in some breath here, so he can even inhale here as he opens up, and then exhale to round. Beautiful breath. And then continuing this way 3 to 5 times, just depending on you and how you're feeling. Beautiful breath. Inhaling to open and exhaling to round. And then once he feels complete with that, we're going to do a spinal side bend. Thank you. So we're going to do a side bend. So he's going to then turn to the side, place one hand on the back of the chair, and then raise his other arm and side bend over to his right. And then he'll just turn around and place his other hand on the chair and switch sides. Good. And then you can see there he gets this lovely side opening in his side body. And then the next piece would be, if you remember the exercise that we did on the twist sitting in the chair, we're going to add on to that. So this is another option as well. We bring the chair against the wall, and we would need this tissue box or rolled up towel, depending on what you want to use. Kevin will place his left foot on the chair, and then he'll go ahead and turn towards the wall. And if you notice here, his right hand is actually attached to the wall, but it might be a little too much for his low back, so I'm going to bring this Kleenex box here and have him place his hand on the Kleenex box instead, just bringing a little less twisting into his low back. And then he would simply switch sides when he's ready to do so, and that would be the exercise. And that would be more of a holding exercise, so you'd hold in that pose for a few breaths. The spinal strengthening series, which is going to be our last piece here, we're going to move the chair kind of in the middle so that we're pretty far away from the wall or anything around us, so that we have room to move here because we're going to be using our limbs a lot. So Kevin, go ahead and place your hands on the back of the chair. Again, if you have less height on you, you could also place your hands on the actual seat of the chair to do this as well. So Kevin's going to raise his left arm forward and reach it. And you can hold here. If this is for him and this is enough, he can hold here. Or you can lift his right leg back behind him. Finding a nice balancing pose there. Good. And then he would bring that hand and leg down and then do the opposite side. So right arm lifts and then left leg lifts behind him. And then finding a balance and also some working of the spinal muscles. And let's do also the other version of this, which is just raising one arm. So raise the left arm, and then bring that arm down, and then raise your right leg, only the leg. So you could do the arm and the leg separately if you wanted to, or you could bring them together, opposite sides lift. Okay, great. So that's our strengthening series. And then let's go to the wall. And the final piece of the strengthening series is Kevin's going to place his left hand on the wall, and then he's going to place his right hand behind his head. He's going to take an inhale here, and as he exhales, he's going to curl his right elbow towards his left knee, and his left knee is going to raise. And he's going to do sort of this like side crunch, opposite sides crunch, and then he's going to come back to center, and he's going to do that a few times. So inhale to open. Good, and then exhale, elbow to knee, knee to elbow. And he'll do this about 3 times each side. So once he's finished on this side, no rush to get there, Kevin, take your time. Come back to center, and then he'll turn to the other side. He'll place his opposite hand on the wall. Left hand comes behind the head, and then he'll do the curl, left elbow to right knee to left elbow. Good. And you'll notice he's getting some nice stretching of the spine in here as well. And it's also also a nice little exercise for the front body too. So you're kind of getting a whole lot going on here. Good. And then relax. And then the final piece is our resting pose. So the first option is to sit back on the chair and just close our eyes and take a few breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And what we're doing here is bringing the nervous system to a calm state so that we can integrate everything that we just learned in the poses and exercises we just did. The other option is to, if you have accessibility to do this, you can come to lying on your back on a bed or on a couch and bring that rolled up towel or pillow underneath the knees. So we're going to pretend like this yoga mat is our bed or our couch, and Kevin's going to lay down and place that under his knees and just lie down and rest. And he's just going to breathe for as long as he wants. It could turn into a nap if he wanted to. But the important thing is resting the nervous system, and that's what we want to do after we do these exercises. Beautiful breath. Okay. Good job.
Good. Thank you so much, Andrea, for setting us and getting us through those movements. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Questions, comments, suggestions, anything, leave them in the comment section below. In the description below, we'll have a website, we'll have emails, just contact information. But now I'm going to have Andrea just take a minute to tell you about where to find her and a little bit more about what she does.
Thank you everyone for tuning in today. Again, my name is Andrea McLaughlin. I'm a yoga teacher and movement coach. I work with people in a one-on-one setting to help them with their specific needs and situation. I love to help my clients move through life, not just on the mat, but move through life with more ease, less pain, and less stress. I also teach public classes in the area. I teach at Yoga in the Center here. I'm actually here right now. I teach at Yoga in the Center in Mill Creek, and then also Twist Yoga in Edmonds. And if you want to know a little bit more about me, you can find me at my website at loveraholistic.com. That's LLOVERA holistic.com. Or you can email me directly at andrea@loveraholistic.com. Thank you so much.